Welcome to our tutorial on using Angular's HTTP interceptor for JWT authentication. We begin by importing injectable from Angular core, which allows this service to be injected as a dependency elsewhere. We also import HTTP interceptor and related classes from Angular common HTTP necessary for creating an interceptor. We use observable from RxJS as our interceptor will work with observable streams. We define an JWT interceptor class, which implements the HTTP interceptor interface. It has a constructor where we inject our auth service. This service is responsible for managing user authentication states, including JWT tokens. The intercept method is where the magic happens. Here, we're given the outgoing HTTP request and the next handler in the chain. The method ultimately returns an observable of HTTP event, which includes the response. Inside the intercept method, first, we retrieve the current user from our auth service. We check if we have a current user and that they have a token. This token is necessary for secure API calls. If a user token exists, we clone the request so we can modify it. We set new headers, specifically the authorization header, appending the user's JWT token preceded by bearer. This is the standard format for sending JWTs in HTTP headers. Finally, we return the next handler's handle function, passing in our potentially modified request. This allows other interceptors to process it, or for it to finally be sent to the server if there are no others. In a different part of your app, such as an Angular module, we import the HTTP_interceptors token and our JWT interceptor. This setup is critical for integrating the interceptor into our app's HTTP request pipeline. Within the provider's array of the module, we specify our JWT interceptor. We do this by setting the provide property of a provider object to HTTP_interceptors and use class to JWT interceptor. The multi-true indicates this is a multi-provider, which allows for multiple interceptors to be registered. Now let's quickly review the auth service class. This service holds the current user state using RxJS behavior subject and provides an observable to subscribe to. In the auth service, we define a private behavior subject to keep track of the current user state and a public observable that other parts of the app can observe for changes. In the constructor, we initialize the behavior subject with the current user stored in local storage, and we make the current user observable based on this subject. The auth service provides a getter called currentUserValue for synchronous access to the current user's value, which the JWT interceptor uses to retrieve the user's JWT token. Finally, the auth service would also include additional methods related to authentication such as signing in, signing out, or refreshing the JWT token, which are not shown here for brevity.